Welcome to episode 2 of the Strixhaven Curriculum of Chaos. So, we started last week by introducing 4 of our 5 players, because someone was really enjoying the latest Batman movie. Go check that out, by the way, not sponsored. And that was Luke, who you can see on the bottom left of our screen. He's playing a character called Garius, who we'll be getting into soon. So we introduced Tic-Tuck the Goblin, Pickles the Turtle, Iris the Owlin, and Aurora the Elf.
Eladrin, my darling.
Who wants to say hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Look at Luke, late as usual. So we're gonna because he said hi last. No, I'm joking. So we followed everyone's sort of like their morning before their first day of school, and Pickles decided to start his day right outside of the school in his pond and walking in the opposite direction of the school, where he met the rest of the party walking towards the school. Some stuff happened. Aurora tried to pick up Pickles, and he flailed out of her grip and tried to bite her, and sort of turned into a demon for like half a second. If you want to do an impression of what you said, if you can remember.
I think it was something like...
It was like
Try that again.
Yeah. And this is from a 2-foot-tall turtle.
That
was sopping
basically
wet.
the exact same.
Yeah. So...
Suddenly became Chris Hemsworth the turtle version.
Yeah, so you sort of all met up, like you're all crossing paths onto the main path up to the school, and you all started walking in the right direction. And you got back on track, and when you were on your way up, you saw a group of 4 Silver Quill second years on the side of the road smirking at you. Among these were a human male with dark hair, an emerald dragonborn who's quite tall, pretty bulky, a female tabaxi, and a troll male who's about average height, and they're all wearing silver quill cloaks. And as you went further up to school, they were kind of smirking at you as you walked past, but I think Aurora sort of like flirted with the girl, and she looked very confused as Aurora walked away.
How can I help it?
Oh god, okay. There's gonna be a lot of this, isn't there? So we're gonna as you walked further up, you got handed pretty much every extracurricular activity leaflet that you could. Iris currently has all of these in his inventory, and if anyone wants to brush up on what any of those were, I'll put a list into a document, and you guys can all have a read, because I'm pretty sure Iris would show it around if anybody asked.
No, I'm hiding that.
So he's stealth checking a wad of like 40 papers into your bag.
No one's working at Guillaume's.
No one's working. So on your way up, you also met a troll named Guillaume.
Emailing.
And everyone froze for a second there. It's okay. So you met Guillaume, who is a chef at one of the cafes in the school, and he handed you some stew, and as you ate it, you felt like very, very energetic as you gained temporary hit points every time you ate a bowl,
Which was apparently the cap.
It was
on how many hit points you could get.
I didn't realize. I'm still a fairly new DM and didn't know how temp hit points worked. You reset your temporary hit points every time you get a new set. So Pickles thought he could just infinitely eat stew and not die, but in reality he was just filling himself up and only gaining like 3 per bowl. Everyone like filled their belly a little bit. Then you got to the school where you met sort of like a tall, slender female teacher who asked for your names. Was quite curious as to where this mysterious individual called Garius, who just hasn't turned up to anything so far, where he was. And she sort of like looked begrudgingly, let everybody else in, and told them where they were supposed to meet their student advisor, who was Mavinda. Now, they made their way across the courtyard and saw some students like testing spells. They saw somebody warping water in a fountain. They saw somebody like moving some trees with some energy. Some even like doing like mock fights with each other with magic. And as they were walking across, Irish just thought, you know what, I'm gonna just cast grease, and he cast grease on another
Testing
party
spells,
member, Aurora. Aurora looked like what, like why, and he said the beautiful line, "I swear this doesn't always happen," which
A good moment.
it was definitely a moment. And after that, oh sorry, Pickles also had sort of like a ball of fire in his hand the entire time, looking menacing.
I was just playing.
Yeah, he
footy,
was just playing with just playing football with fire.
Yeah.
And you guys carried on walking and eventually met up with Mavinda, your student advisor, who's an Owlin. I got the wrong gender in the last session. She's actually a female, so I'm going to be switching up the voice a little bit, as I didn't read enough for the last session. It was very rushed. Yeah, and this is where the session will begin, but not with the party. We are going to zoom out fairly far away to a couple hours prior to this, to sort of this monastery kind of community with like surrounded in trees, children playing in small fields of grass dotted about, very very well kept, in a well masoned walls. There are buildings all over the place, and we're gonna cut into one of the houses in a very very clean bedroom. Garius, if you would like to describe your character.
Right. The best way I can describe myself is a very well kept religious tiefling. He has got big horns like like the evil witch from
Maleficent.
Maleficent. Sorry about that. But she's got huge ass horns. He's got huge ass horns. Totally ivory black. Wait. White pupils, purple skin, very sharp jawline, and he is adorned in white robes, and he carries a black oak staff next to him, with pretty much in the cracks a little bit of light coming through, and the back is totally exposed, and fitted with his robes, and the back is on the back there is a big tattoo that is a pale moon, a little bit glistening with all kinds of starlight appearing from it. And he's just in his room, probably praying, and he can't wait to go to school. He's
Yeah. So as you look around, if you were to look around the room, you notice that it's quite minimalistic, but very very tidy. So there's lots of holy symbols around. So if you were to get, if you probably like fold your sheets in a very very specific way, leaving them at the bottom of the bed. Everything's very organized. You've got your shoes in a place. You've got everything has its place. And you sort of get a knock on your door as your mother walks in, if you want to describe her.
Pretty much the same, but she does have pupils, and she's also ordained in robes, but in higher stature, if you could call it that, and beautiful hair, and definitely very charismatic. Very that comes over like she's very wise and has seen a lot of shit, but very religious and not strict, I would say, but stern.
So you get this knock on your door, and just like you described, she walks into the room, sort of without necessarily addressing you first. she kind of just looks around the room first and makes sure that everything is in order. And she goes, "Good job." As she says, "Breakfast is ready. Do you want to come downstairs?"
I'll be there in a bit. I'll follow.
Okay. And yeah, so she walks down the stairs. Are you doing anything else before you head downstairs?
Just looking over the room, see if I missed anything.
Yeah. Yeah, so you look around the room. Everything looks... So, you probably do a thing where you, like, double check it every night and then every morning. Yeah, like, you triple check everything. Like, it's one of those where if anything is wrong, you can get chewed out for it big time.
Yeah.
And yeah, you kind of... Yeah, so you notice that everything's in order. You probably did your checks last night as well. As you hear like the like sort of like the slow creaking of your mum walking down the stairs of the house, and yeah. So if you were to head downstairs afterwards, you would smell probably just bread, like some baked bread. Like it's probably like a morning ritual for you guys that you make like a lot of your food on the day. Like you're not wasteful at all. Like you have your set days, but again, it's very minimalistic. You probably have bread and like a preserved fruit or something, like a jam.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you reckon you'd have instead of just the toast?
Glass of milk, and yeah, probably something like eggs.
Yeah, awesome. So it's a lot of stuff that self-sufficient. So you probably. Yeah, like the eggs are from local chickens and everything. It's all it's a very self-sufficient community. Everything that you've eaten, nothing's really imported. You've made it in the community yourself. And it's very very minimalistic breakfast. Is you see her? She's got a plate for everybody. So it's you, your dad, and then your mum. And you see your dad sat there reading the newspaper, and he's sort of like. He doesn't really say anything. He just sort of... he doesn't really acknowledge you at first. He's just reading in his newspaper, occasionally going for his food. And then he looks at the newspaper and goes, "Have you got everything for school?" And then goes back to looking at his paper. And he goes, "Are you nervous?"
I'm excited.
"Good. Well, you better compose yourself. You don't want to go embarrassing the family now, do you?"
Definitely not.
And then he looks back down at his newspaper and he goes, "You best eat fast, otherwise you're going to be late. I'm pretty sure you're already late." As he looks at you got this kind of you got a window showing to outside where you've got was it a sundial? A sundial where it shows like the time based on the sun. And he sort of looks out the window, glances, and he sort of just goes, "Yeah, well, you're probably going to be late, so you might need to eat your breakfast fast then."
Will do. Thank you.
Yeah. And as he sort of says this, your childhood friend, if you want to describe them, comes into the room. And you sort of like... You do not have a description.
I don't.
That's fine.
Actually.
Well, do you want them to be introduced now or later?
Probably later.
Yeah? Okay, that's fine.
Scopes be like, this random ass NPC walks into the room describing.
We did speak about them, but not in... Yeah, it's been a while. So, yeah, that's fine. So yeah, we'll just say that you have your breakfast. As you look around the house, there are quite a few lit candles. Lots of lit candles, but one thing that you notice that is probably the cleanest thing in the whole house is sort of a little corner stand in the corner of the house with a tome on top. And the house isn't really filled with clutter, but there's a lot of things that would be so there's quite a few candles, quite a few sort of charms, maybe bracelets hanging around, but that's the one thing that's completely out of the way compared to everything else, because you can probably tell it's a very important thing. And so you go get through your breakfast. Your mum and dad, they don't talk to you all that much. I think they're sort of just waiting for you to go to school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you say anything or do anything else before you make your way out?
I would probably just look at them, do a proper on off for a while, but more like I would hope to. How should I say this? I'll try to learn, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. So it's maybe like a small bow kind of thing.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So it's kind of like a not very heartfelt farewell, just more like I'll probably see you soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And they sort of just so your dad kind of just he hears what you're saying, and rather than actually turning around looking at you, he sort of just like does this while he's still reading his newspaper, and sort of just looks down his newspaper and then does this with his hand. And your mum just looks at you, smiles, nods, and then they just go back to whatever they were doing. Yeah. And then are you heading out to school?
Yeah, we'll do.
Sweet. So you walk through this gated community, and on your way out, you sort of nod to the two people who are at the gates, kind of like guarding it. They both got staffs. And they like slowly open these doors for you. Everybody's frozen again. There we go. We're back.
So mean today.
Yeah, so they open the door for you, and yeah, they let you through. So you've been making your way to school. You'd expect to see like a few more students here, but you're probably, because they said you're late, you're probably running there. Like
Yeah.
yeah, because you got to be there at a specific time. So you're running to the school. That's fine. So we're gonna cut back to the party. Who I believe you guys ended up making your way up the stairs to the biblioplex.
I think that's about right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys get about, let's say, maybe about halfway up the stairs. But Mavinda is following you because she's hoping to give you a tour while you're in there. Or not really a tour, more like a description of the layout and anything necessary. So yeah, so as you're sort of walking up the stairs, Mavinda following close behind, you hear Garius shouting in the background.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
Wait for me!
Yeah, as you're like running over. So I believe this is the first time that you've seen the rest of the party as well. Everybody
Yes.
else, would you like to describe yourselves to Garius? I'll start with the order on my camera, so we'll go with John first, or Aurora.
All right. So Aurora is a relatively tall, Eladrin person, so somewhat elf-like, but a little bit of a rouge tint. She's wearing like a Parma Violet's loose-sleeved shirt, a brown corset, and a dark purple miniskirt. She has been blissfully unaware of the fact that there's a school uniform in Strixhaven. But yeah, she's got her brown auburn hair tied up in a bun with and there's a small dagger going through the bun to sort of keep it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so next we'll have Iris.
Okay, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Pretty standard size owlin, you know. White feathers, brown feathers that sort of blend to white as they sort of lower, and the classic sort of just pure white barn owl looking face with like not really many imperfections color-wise on the skin or the feathers.
He's just so hot and perfect. There's nothing wrong with
The
Look
him.
greatest
at me.
thing you've ever seen.
This owl gets it.
So Pickles, you're actually next if you want to describe yourself.
Well, imagine the same thing, but as a turtle. Like, he gets
This
it.
turtle
Perfect turtle.
He gets them. Yeah, no, it's a turtle. He's his name's Pickles. 2 foot tall, very, very little, likes to waddle around. Very, not unintelligent, but very spacey, shall we say? Like, kind of not fully here, you know, like on the way to school, he's reading the map upside down.
I love how very
that kind of
spacey is an
thing.
understatement as well. Like,
Sorry?
you don't know where you are at every point of the day.
Essentially, like attention span goes from here to here like that.
Yeah, like anywhere outside of your pond, you're just like, well, it's this way, I guess.
Hey, it's the simple life. It's the simple life. Loves drinking. It's essentially, loves drinking tea. It's very kind of like a chill, just a chill dude, essentially.
Yeah.
Just a turtle that's a chill dude.
It's a really sweet guy,
He's
man.
kind of short, brown, with kind of lighter spots, and two bright red stripes on the side of his head. And I said this last time. He's called Pickles the Red Snapper, which his name is a red herring because a red snapper is a fish. The turtle is a red slider.
What you should do at some point is just flip the script and like unmake it a red herring, because the red herring was the fact that it was a red herring.
I'm gonna explicitly.
This is already too much for
polymorph
my
to
brain.
turn you into a red herring.
So you're actually gonna polymorph him into
Anyway,
a red
guys,
snapper
we're here to
fish.
talk about meta commentary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it real or is it not? This turtle that I speak of. Anyway, so yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Awesome. So we're gonna go. Sorry. So we're gonna go over to TikTok. Would you like to describe yourself?
Okay.
I'm quickly gonna
So-
turn my lamp on.
TikTok is about small, somewhere between 3 and 4 foot goblin, sort of red sandstone skin, small little wisps of black hair on his head, and you can sort of see like he's not only wearing sort of scale mail, sort of segmented armor over his chest and arms, but you can see that his gloves are sort of covered in bits of metal plating to try and protect his fingers from his own tinkering, and his left leg from basically the knee down is a clunky metal prosthetic, just a sort of a round stump where the metal stump where the foot would essentially be, and a small bits and bob, a small little cylinder connecting it to where his approximation of his knee, covered up by tattered remains of his trousers, as well as a lens over his left eye that's just got red glass on it, just to help him see in different shades of light. Just to go between light and dark areas. And you can see this on his back. He's got a rod attached to, so attached to the armor where the spine would be, just to help him try and carry his backpack. Because if you sort of look at it, it's just full of everything that he could possibly have or might possibly need. It's like he's the person who sort of takes every book you might ever need to school, even though you only have one class for the day, and all his tools. And any other armor and weaponry he might need or want. So he has to have a back rod over his spine just to help him carry it all without falling over, because tiny goblin, big backpack.
The backpack's probably twice as heavy as he is. It's massive.
It's like 70 kilograms for him and like 70 pounds for the backpack, so not great.
The ratio's all off. So
Yeah.
So you're sort of like running over to this group that you see running up the stairs. As you're running over, everyone sort of just turns around and looks at you as you're sprinting, and Mavinda is sort of like looking at her her clipboard, being like, this must be Garius. And as you sort of like catch up, you're very out of breath. You're like, trying to catch it. You've sprinted for like a solid hour and a half to get here.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mavinda so goes, "Are you Garius?"
I am. Yes. Sorry about that.
You're a tad bit late. Where were you? You weren't even at the welcome meeting.
Religious affairs. I'm sorry.
Oh no, well, don't apologize. It's for religious reasons. I'm sorry I pried. And you sort of just go, well, as long as you're here, that's fine. Now, we're going to go for your orientation in the Biblioplex. Are you ready?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. And you sort of go ahead and you see all these party members. Does anyone say
wave.
anything? Does anyone wave? Or, yeah?
I'll just like both hands.
Yeah,
That's it.
I'm going to
Oh no.
just make eye contact and give a brief wave towards him as he approaches.
I shyly wave back.
Okay.
I feel like
Ooh,
Aurora.
you hit him with the Queen Elizabeth wave like this. You hit him with Queen Elizabeth. You're like, hello. Okay, so Mavinda's sort of like leading. Sorry, what was that?
Already too much for TikTok.
Yeah.
Just like,
He's like, all right. Oh, there's an extra person here. What do I do?
help.